Good Sunday morning to you, Tampa Bay. Waking up with a little extra cloud cover, and a whole lot of humidity in place. Warm temperatures out there this morning. It will get only warmer this afternoon, but I'm also tracking the potential for some scattered showers and maybe even a few storms. We'll talk about that hour-by-hour timing coming up.
This morning, the 737 that skid off a Jacksonville runway remains in the water. What we are learning about the animals still inside the cargo bay. Plus, a massive explosion rocks the city, and this morning, why authorities say the search for plant workers missing in this wreckage is not looking promising. And if you feel like you are waking up on the wrong side of the bed, well, we've got something that just might help. It is Sunday, May 5th, 2019, and if you're up with us, you're up on the bright side.
The right side of the bed.
Hashtag on the bright side. Join us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We want to know. Show us the sunrise in your area. Tell us what you're doing, what you got planned today. Join the conversation, as always.
Help a girl out figure out what to do today.
She needs plans. I'm Josh Sidorowitz. Thanks so much for waking up with us.
And I'm meteorologist Natalie Ferrari. I get to talk so much about how gorgeous it'll be or how rainy it'll be. I gotta help me.
Yes,
I do that. But then I find out what to do with my plans as well. And I love to see what events are going on across the Tampa Bay area. Now, here's what's actually been I'll walk you through that hour by hour in just a few moments.
Hour 2 here on the bright side this Sunday morning, but if you are just joining us, we want to make the most of the time that you've got with us. So let's get you in the know. Today, NTSB officials are expected to start interviewing crew members of that 737 that skidded off the runway and into the river in Jacksonville Friday night. It's also expected they're going to start removing the plane from the water finally. Unfortunately, though, as of this morning, first responders say they have been unable to get to those pets in the cargo area. They say that they've been unable to see or hear anything to indicate that those animals are okay at this point. Investigators are trying to figure out what happened after finding a body of a kayaker near the Gandy Bridge last night. Crews got the call for a kayaker who was in distress. They found the boat empty, then found the man's body in the water about an hour after that. For a second week in a row, Christians in Sri Lanka are being forced to celebrate Sunday Mass in their own homes. Churches remain closed after reports of potential new attacks by Islamic extremists. Sri Lanka is majority Buddhist but has significant Hindu and Muslim population. 7% are Christian and most of those are Roman Catholic. A reminder to be mindful when you are out boating, and here is why. A rescued manatee that was hit several times by a boat has died this weekend, and her injuries were apparently so bad she was even missing one of her flippers. She was taken to Zeus Tampa for treatment. She didn't make it, though, and animal experts are saying, you know what, best to stick to deep water, avoid driving over seagrass beds, because that is usually where manatee are looking for their food. This morning, 2 people are still missing after a deadly explosion at this silicone plant in Illinois. 2 workers were killed. The aftermath, you look at these pictures and it is incredible. This is all about 40 miles north of Chicago, and surveillance video, look, actually captured the explosion. Watch. See that giant fireball in the sky there? The significant damage left behind is making search and recovery efforts extremely difficult.
Basically, we will have to work with the building ownership to get some heavy equipment in here to start pulling some of the structure apart. This structure, again, was an industrial processing facility. There's a lot of heavy pipe. There's a lot of vessels in there. Every one of those with the piping overhead has been damaged from the structure and is hanging somewhat insecurely and doesn't allow us to operate safely. So we have to pull all that apart with some heavy equipment.
And no cause for the explosion has been determined yet. We understand the search for those 2 missing workers is expected to start again in about an hour from now. It was a stunning finish to the world's most famous horse race. After the winner, Maximum Security, was disqualified, an historic first for this race. Race stewards determined that the horse strayed from his lane before being in the clear of another horse, almost causing a collision, ultimately making Country House the winner.
It's bittersweet. You always want to win with a clean trip and have everybody recognize the horse as the very good horse and the great athlete that he is. I think due to the disqualification, probably some of that is diminished.
Maximum Security is the first horse ever to be disqualified in the Derby's 145-year history. That was just wild to watch that last night. Well, for some, gardening can offer a whole lot more than just some fresh veggies for the family. It can be therapeutic. maybe as well. Brightside reporter Madison Alwer, she is live in Indian Rocks Beach. The city there, Madison, they're launching this new program. They want to get more people to give gardening a try.
Yeah, that's exactly the future with this project, guys.
Kudos to your assistants there, Madison. Nicely done.
Yes, they did so well.
Take a bow. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you in about a half hour. Madison, thanks so much.
Take a bow, guys. Good work. Good work. Thank you, Josh.
There we go. Well done. All right, thanks, guys. Hey, time now, 8:08. Let's take a look at some of the other things happening across Tampa Bay today. Maybe if you're looking for a laid-back Sunday, find an interesting book to read at the Oxford Exchange Book Fair there. They will be showcasing more than 24 local artists. All you got to do is bring a gently used book to donate to local students there. And it is Play in the Park Day at the new Atlanta Braves spring training facility, Cool Today Park in Northport. The whole family can explore the ballpark. There's concessions, kickball and wiffle ball in the outfield too. And hey, kids 12 and under can run the bases, and it is all for free. Natalie hoping she can pass for 12, run those bases as well.
On a good day, maybe. Now I want to talk about finding the perfect match.
Oh,
and it's
does my fiance know about that?
Oh, come here. In the meantime, it's a different kind of puppy love as well. So put all that together.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Perfect match, puppy love.
All right.
After my own
I'm
heart.
listening.
In Maine, a deaf man adopted a puppy who just happens to also be deaf, and they do share an amazing bond. Nick found 12-week-old Emerson through a Facebook post and knew right away that they were meant to be.
Aww.
At the door and stop right on my foot and stay there. So you can tell he kind of picked me, and I knew right there and then that we would get along well and understand each other pretty good.
Oh, Emerson, I want to pick you up and snuggle. So sweet. Nick uses visual commands to train Emerson. As you can see there, he already knows sit and lie down.
Good boy.
He also responds to certain tones and pitches.
That is a cute pup.
Oh.
Wow.
I could just literally stare at those eyes and that snout for at least the next hour.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's such a special story, though. I mean, they found each other. They were made for each other, and they, I think, need each other, right?
Yeah,
It's a match made
and in
heaven.
essence, before going through any actual training, it's almost like Emerson's already a therapy dog in a sense. Support animal.
Absolutely. All right, well, it may be cute and cuddly, but this rescue from a busy Florida intersection, not your typical house cat.
Oh dear.
.13 here on your Bright Side Weekend. Josh Sidorowitz.
Meteorologist Natalie Ferrari.
And we are happy to have you with us this morning.
And hopefully you're staying inside where it's nice and AC, at least cooler and drier than
Yes.
outside. So humid.
It feels like you're
You open the
swimming.
door. Might as well just go to the sauna.
Holy.
It's Florida.
It is. It's
Yeah,
Florida.
it's a warm start to this morning, very humid. It actually helped to prompt a little bit of fog earlier this morning, but don't worry, that alone won't be sticking around. I wanted to take a lot into next week.
To Churchill Downs.
What do you say we keep that crazy going?
Might as well.
A couple stories here that'll have you asking, what the Florida? We'll start with this. A man in Orlando rescued what he thought was a cheetah cub from a busy intersection. It was not. It wasn't a house cat either. This is a baby bobcat.
He's still so cute, nice and little
Cute,
tiny.
but the fact that he even thought just a cheetah was
baby
roaming through
cheetah.
the intersection. The guy took it to a fire station. Firefighters took it to a wildlife refuge. The cub will go back to the wild in about 6 months, of course, when it is a lot bigger. It's cute till it grows up and mauls your face off.
And that's what I'm saying. Good on this person for recognizing this isn't any normal house cat.
No, right, because you
This is
let
a
it,
big kitty.
yeah, roam to its own devices in the city. And
Years later, you're like, why do I have a crazy cat? In the meantime, if this story doesn't scream, what the Florida?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know what does. A guy was just
Oh,
sitting
my.
in South Florida traffic when he saw this in the turn lane in front of him, an elderly
minute.
man pushing a shopping cart. He waited for the light and
What?
made the turn. Oh, and he's hustling. He even picks up a little bit of speed along with that. He's like, look, I'm going to keep up with traffic. I can go.
Oh, no.
Oh, my word. That is so dangerous. What was he thinking? This is an intersection with, like, look at that, 18-wheelers crossing. And we fly.
I just can't. The fact that he starts to really like.
Like, oh, I've acknowledged that traffic is
wow.
moving.
What is.
That's good. I want to know what was the thought process.
Well, you know, we've got bike lanes. Now we need shopping cart lanes, apparently.
Yikes.
Only in Florida. Thank you. Don't stop being you, Florida man. All right. Hey, looking to spice some things up? A local food truck serving up some tasty Spanish dishes. Might be some food for thought. $8:23. Here's a look at your health checkup here this morning. We will start with this. You might want to hold the bacon with your breakfast this morning. Here is why. Eating it could increase your risk of colon cancer by 20%, at least. That is according to a study by the folks over at Oxford University, who say they found that eating just one slice of bacon a day could increase your risk. The same apparently goes for sausage, too. Well, what's left? An outbreak of E. coli from tainted ground beef, that has expanded here as well. Now 177 people have gotten sick in 10 states, including here in Florida. That's according to the CDC. Of those impacted, 21 have been hospitalized. The cases include people who have eaten beef since March 1st, according to the agency. But the problem here, well, they still don't know the supplier or the brand. Here's a reason to get active. A study of 17,000 Americans showed that getting your blood pumping actually pumps up your mood, too. Probably doesn't come as too much of a surprise, though, considering this is essentially the same science behind that runner's high that you've likely heard about.
We know with vigorous exercise, vigorous aerobic exercise, we're releasing endorphins, those pain-relieving.
Doesn't have to be cardio either. Lifting weights helps make you happier as well. There is a new food truck on the streets of Tampa Bay called Tostones. And 10 News resident foodie Candice Aviles shows you with a menu that's a mix of Puerto Rican and Dominican. It's definitely some food for thought.
Just off West Waters Avenue in Tampa, you'll find this hidden gem, Tostones Inc.
Candice Aviles pronounces it way better than I obviously did. Right now, they are only on West Waters Avenue in Tampa, but we're told they're planning a second location to open soon, and we'll be sure to share that as soon as it is announced. All right, time now is 8:26. Madison Allworth live once again in Indian Rocks Beach with what she's working on in our next half hour.
Yeah, working on some gardening here, Josh. We are
Right now on your Bright Side Weekend, heartbreak for North Carolina Police Department. One of their own shot and killed in the line of duty. And investigators are working to figure out how to remove this plane from a Jacksonville river. This morning we are hearing from one of the passengers who was on board when it skidded off the runway. Plus, maybe you've got some big party plans for your Cinco de Mayo. Well, we are going to go beyond the headlines to talk about what this holiday is really all about. It is Sunday, May 5th, 2019. You are up on the bright side. I'm Josh Sidorowitz.
And I'm meteorologist Natalie Ferrari.
There's some misconceptions about Cinco de
Mayo.
Mayo.
Oh, there's a lot of misconceptions.
To put it mildly. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
You could still enjoy a margarita, I suppose, but just know what you're celebrating.
Yeah, or two. It'll be good.
Two. She went from the mint juleps yesterday to the margaritas today.
It's my Friday, so
then
wherever life takes me.
Live your best life. Because if you go outside, you're gonna be you have to be hydrated.
Yeah, this is gonna go up in a ponytail right in the next 30 minutes for sure because it is just so humid out there. Ladies, don't even bother. It's just gonna take a lot of time. Guys, throw on the baseball cap. You got my permission. And this is the reason a whole lot of moisture has moved into the Tampa Bay area. Wind still coming in out of the southwest. And that has allowed a little bit of low-level cloud cover to kind of stick around. That patchy fog I've been tracking all morning is actually breaking apart and clearing very quickly as I speak because we have breezy winds that are starting to kick into gear, and I'll walk you through that breakdown coming up.
All right, Natalie, 8:32 this morning, federal investigators, they are expected to start interviewing crew members from the plane that skidded off the runway and into the river at the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville Friday night. The plane remains in the water here this morning as investigators work to figure out what caused this crash landing in the first place. Passengers on the military chartered flight from Guantanamo Bay stood on the wings as they waited to be rescued. NTSB investigators are looking into whether storms in the area might have been a factor. They have recovered the flight data recorder, but not the cockpit voice recorder, which is still underwater in the tail of the plane. Incredibly, all 143 people were safely brought to shores without any serious injuries.
When the plane hit that barrier, it split the top of the aircraft. So it had a split in it, and when the plane hit the water and it displaced all that water, it came over the top.
While every person on board the plane is accounted for, sadly, the pets in the cargo area are presumed to be dead. Rescue crews checked that cargo bay for the animals, but said they could not see them above the waterline. We'll continue to bring you new information here on air and on WTSP.com. Developing this morning, a North Carolina police officer is dead after he was shot during a routine traffic stop. This apparently happened late last night along a highway in the town of Mooresville. That's about 30 miles north of Charlotte. The department has identified the officer killed as 32-year-old Jordan Sheldon, who had been with the department for 6 years. Investigators say the person who shot Officer Sheldon then killed themselves. We are working to learn the identity of a kayaker who was found dead in the waters in St. Petersburg. The discovery was made near the Gandy Bridge yesterday. Crews first found the empty kayak, then a police helicopter spotted the man's body in the water about 30 minutes after that. It is not clear yet just what exactly happened. In Largo, a man is fighting to recover after trying to save his dog from a lake. The 33-year-old was taking family photos at Walsingham Park when his dog apparently ran off, went into the water. That's what deputies say. He then jumped in after the dog, but he struggled to swim. He went underwater, nearly drowned himself. Well, maybe you've got a garden in your own yard, but what about having a garden for the entire community? You can contribute to it, use the plants and herbs that are grown in it. Well, that is the plan in one beach community, at least. Brightside reporter Madison Allworth joins us live once again from Indian Rocks Beach. They are building community gardens. You got a lot of helpers out there this morning, Madison.
Lots of really hoping to do more. This is box 1. They're going to be heading on to make boxes 2, 3, and 4, and it's just the beginning. So we'll keep you updated on this story, but for now, everyone here in Indian Rocks Beach should keep an eye out for their fresh produce that they can pick up whenever they want.
Sure, and as long as everyone continues to give, if they're going to take, I think it could be really successful. All right, very cool. Thank you for showing us this morning, Madison. We appreciate it. Time now is 8:37. Let's take a look at what else is happening across Tampa Bay today. Ooh, how about this? One of the largest conventions for reptiles and amphibians in the country happening in Newport Richey. It's Repticon. It's happening at the All Sports Arena. They've got reptiles, obviously, hopefully, other exotic animals, seminars, vendors, presentations, and there'll be some raffles as well. But if you're not into that cold-blooded crowd, well, you might want to check out the Oxford Exchange Book Fair in Tampa instead. That is where more than 24 local authors will be showcased. All you have to do is bring a gently used book to donate to local students. And kids 12 and under can run the bases during the Play in the Park Day at the new Atlanta Braves spring training facility, Cool Today Park. In Northport.
Say that 5 times
Hello.
fast.
Whole family can go. There's concessions, wiffle ball, kickball, and best of all, it is all for free. We've got that event and all the others, plus other ones that we couldn't even fit on air, all posted to our website at WTSP.com. Oh, there's also a list of Cinco de Mayo celebrations.
Yeah, and as many of you may know, today is Cinco de Mayo. If you didn't, good morning.
Welcome.
It's May 5th. Thanks for joining us. While you may help yourself to a margarita or two, told you some people do that too. Do you even know what you're celebrating? Brightside Entertainment reporter Jabari Thomas goes beyond the headline on May's 5th fiesta.
Get ready to party like there's no mañana. Who's hungry for tacos now? Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
heritage that we all are making time to celebrate.
There you go. The more you know.
No kidding. Thanks, Jabari. And for those of you who plan on partying, just please be safe.
Yes.
AAA is offering their Tow to Go program through tomorrow morning at 6 to make sure your ride home is a safe one.
Always celebrate responsibly.
Absolutely.
Right? All right. Well, so we told you yesterday about biking Tampa Bay's waterways, but this morning, we're putting the rubber to the dirt for some BMX biking. 8:44
on this Sunday morning.
Thank you so much for waking up with us. Hey, if you took a picture of the sunrise, send to 10, hashtag on the bright side. We want to see it. Although, now that I'm looking at the live, I guess it's a little cloudy outside.
Maybe a little cloudy out there, but hey, the sun still has to rise, and it has to...
It has to get past the clouds.
Duh. And it had to burn off some of those fog, some of the clouds and the fog that we did deal with earlier this morning. Things are improving, though.
It looks pretty, though.
As we speak. You know what? It actually will not be a bad day. I know I've been talking about rain chances. I've been talking about how humid and just how sticky it feels out. Rain chances thrown in the mix.
Before that, though, let's take a look at some of the things that are trending right now. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile. That is the title of the new Netflix movie about notorious serial killer Ted Bundy. The film explores the viewpoint from Bundy's longtime girlfriend, Liz Kendall. And if you notice, that guy looks familiar. That is Zac Efron. He plays the lead role, which is very out of the ordinary for, I think, the typical Zac Efron character. Natalie, are you listening?
Terrifying.
It is, yeah, but I'm actually kind of curious. I think I'll be watching that. That's on my list.
Terrifying.
It's, well, yeah, but it looks entertaining.
Terrifying.
Okay. Natalie won't be watching it. Hey, Natalie, you remember this, the Fire Festival disaster?
Yes, fascinating.
The guy behind it, Billy McFarland, is reportedly writing a memoir from prison. I have so many things I want to say. He is serving a 6-year sentence for fraud. The title, Prometheus, God of Fire. Get it?
No.
New York Magazine reports it'll be about 800 handwritten pages worth of text. McFarland plans to self-publish his quote-unquote comeback memoir.
Of course
he's like he's probably one of the worst people in the world.
Yes, and then he just continues to highlight it.
Unreal. If so that movie we both seen, that documentary, and that your jaw will be on the floor the entire time if you have not watched it yet. All right, let's move on. It is the weekend. So instead of watching Netflix, why not get up, get out, and do something fun while you can, right? The Sarasota BMX track is celebrating its 45th anniversary, and as Brightside reporter Sean Stryker shows you, owners say that makes them the oldest track in the country.
If you're looking to rent.
I love how he's just at the end.
Yeah, I didn't even realize, that's Sean.
They will really get some air.
They do. And you have to have so much control, so much muscle attention to be able to lift that entire bike up and your body weight.
I picture me on it, head over the handrails, teeth knocked out. That's
I have a huge scar on my knee from as a kid. I tried to use my neighbor was doing this, and we were all using a little girl bike. I didn't know as a kid, but
I did the same thing. I flew over a dirt pile. I thought it was cool, and I just across the pavement.
You gotta learn some way, but
try the Sarasota BMX.
There you go.
We'll be right back. (8:53). Let's take one more look at what is making headlines here on this Sunday morning. This morning, federal investigators, they are expected to start interviewing crew members from the plane that skidded off the runway and into a river in Jacksonville Friday night. NTSB investigators recovered the flight data recorder, but they are still working to get the cockpit voice recorder, which is underwater in the tail of the plane. A North Carolina police officer is dead after being shot during a routine traffic stop overnight. The department has identified the officer killed as 32-year-old Jordan Sheldon, who'd been with the department for 6 years. Investigators say the person who shot Officer Sheldon killed themselves. And what a historic finish to the world's most famous horse race. Maximum Security, the first horse ever to be disqualified from the Kentucky Derby. Race stewards determined the horse strayed from his lane before being in the clear of another horse. Almost causing a collision, ultimately making Country House the winner. Well, it is hard to escape members of the Kardashian-Jenner family on TV or social media. They become a multi-million-dollar juggernaut with their mother, Kris Jenner, at the helm. CBS Sunday Morning's Tracy Smith spoke with her about their success.
Can you give me a ballpark of the fees?
It's different. It's all over the board. I mean, it's definitely six figures.
What? I'm sick. Love them or hate them, there they are. A business that's all in the family. Plus, hemp, a cannabis cousin that could have curing qualities. And the joy of quitting. Those stories and more on The Money Issue, a special edition of CBS Sunday Morning in just about 4 minutes here on WTSP. Before that, though, you won't get paid to post Instagram photos outside today, but it could be a nice day to get out.
And I get to tell you how you're going to have to dodge some storms later. Yeah, for now, it actually is not bad. For your brunch plans, enjoy it as early as possible. I will be tracking some strong storms, maybe even briefly severe for some strong winds later this afternoon. That's what we're really going to be watching out for you. We'll be keeping you updated all day long on WTSP.com.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.